Sometimes you're distracting the referee, 'cause the babyface has your wrestler pinned. Then you're punched down to the ring apron, 'cause you realize all the trouble you're in. Yeah, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope, and you bang your head on the ring apron. Don't do that. That's when you feel like a big dope. They're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Now, sometimes you reach out for the hot tag, and you go ahead and make your own comeback. Knock it off. That's when you should quit wrestling, and you're better off rolling the thumbtacks. AEW, the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now, double claps. I can't hear you at home. Monday Night Raw, Hulu edition. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa, Nelly. Bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded. 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a scorch out there, and the Brooklyn Dodgers win the series 23 skidoo. Ba-da-bam-bam-bam. My name's Bob. What's going on, Bob Squad? How the hell are you? How's Tricks? How's the kids? Some weather we are having. I just finished my workout. I was lifting my weights. I was clanging and banging, getting jacked, ripped, chiseled, and stacked, daddy. All the way live, baby doll. Living on the edge of a lightning bolt. Making your body shake, your back crack, your knees freeze, and your liver quiver with a hole in your heart and a pain in your pancreas. That is the hardest part of the ring. What are we talking about today? Oh, good gravy. One of the better Raws in a long, long time. The June 28th Hulu edition, not limited enough commercial interruption of Monday Night Raw. We start off the show. You're not going to believe this. Hold the phone. Back the buggy up. Stop the press. But Hulk Hogan slams Andre the Giant to kick off the show, which leaves so many more questions than answers. And we start off with something else that's not a big, long, talky segment, which is nice. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville are standing around telling us Randy Orton's not there, and Riddle, who may or may not get his Matt Riddle, he might get his first name back. Maybe he has to win it in some kind of sporting contest. We don't know the answer. Riddle comes by with a note from Randy Orton, which he clearly wrote himself, which is very comical in green crayon, and he drew a viper to sign it and said, please let Riddle compete in the Last Chance match, a 3-way for 3 guys who did not win their Money in the Bank qualifiers. He wants to be in the 3-way to take Randy Orton's place in, oh goodness, he wants to be in the triple threat match to take Randy Orton's place against Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles to win Orton his Money in the Bank shot back, even though Riddle keeps his regardless because he already qualified. Well, I wonder if Orton will tell Riddle to give him his. I don't know. There was a battle royal, so the Sonyan appears after much tomfoolery with the note. Say, well, there's a battle royal for that spot right now, so if you want to be in that, it starts right now. Go get him. And then he runs down the ramp on his scooter. Everyone else is in the ring already, and he gets entrance music and a scooter and the flip-flops and the whole deal. I don't remember if the birds came out of the flip-flops this time, but so are we to believe that the plan for the show before Riddle threw a wrench in the works, that the plan was to start the show with a battle royal and no one has an entrance? We were just going to say, hey, we're on the air, battle royal. Everyone's in the ring already. Was that the plan? That was not the plan. There is some faulty logic in the wrestling program, but considering enough good that was on it, I'll whatever, let it go. The 24/7 title's still around. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Apparently, yeah, there were 3 title changes on this program. Apparently, Akira Tozawa still wrestles there. He's a ninja because, oh dear. Anyway, I think he loses to Gulak, who loses to R-Truth, who loses it back to Akira. I think that's right. Doesn't really matter. None of them win a battle royal. Omos runs down and he grabs the Vikings and brings them out of the battle royal. And why were the Vikings trying to compete for an individual spot anyway when they were trying to, who cares? Riddle wins the thing. Of course, Riddle and Priest are... Oh, let me back up. There's also a spot with Mustafa Ali, I've said that right, telling Mansoor to get his head in the game and anyone can turn on you, and then he throws Mansoor out, so he wasn't lying. Matt Riddle and Damian Priest still wrestles there. Did you know that? The Riddle and Priest go back and forth, and I think a live crowd would have gone nuts for this. I've been complaining about overdosing on babyface versus face and heel versus heel, but especially with the faces because you're just splitting the whole audience and everything else. And Priest hasn't really been on TV since the Zombies, so it kind of Riddle's had a lot of momentum, of course, with the Randy Orton stuff. But anyway, Priest does lose, and he gets knocked off the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, if you didn't know. Riddle wins, and he insists that they play Orton's music instead of his, which was a great touch. A little detail. Didn't need it, wouldn't have changed a damn thing, but a little detail. And that's what makes these shows 10 times better. These little things. I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. They thought of that, or somebody thought of that. So there we go. So Riddle's going to be in a triple threat match. Careful. Later on. We recap the Hell in a Cell women. Oh my goodness. The Shayna, Alexa, Nia, Reginald, Alexa Bliss. I said Alexa already. Hypnotizing thing. I don't know what the hell was going on here. Shayna Baszler's in the back. She's playing with a deck of cards because she is the Queen of Spades. That means she prevents female dogs from having babies by removing their uterus in a common veterinary procedure. Is it not what the Queen of Spades does? Okay. That's going to be a weird episode. Be that as it may. So she's mean to Reginald, and Naya's there, and I don't know. There's a big recap package right before it. The Irish guy is back. And the Irish guy is no longer Irish. The announcer Irish guy. He's talking to AJ and Omos. But now he sounds British. What the hell is this guy's deal? I want to investigate this story further. Why is this not a storyline on the show? How does this guy keep doing this? But he's back. So the Irish, temporarily less Irish sounding, more American sounding guy, and now British guy interviews AJ and Omos. They said some things. I don't know. Omos is tall. Shayna Baszler wrestles Nikki Cross again. Nikki is still in her superhero thing. Okay. Here's the positives. We know from the Killian Danes tweet, which is Nikki's husband, it was her idea. You can tell she's putting everything she has. She's selling the shit out of it because it's her idea. She really believes in this idea. That's good. My concern, I'm really fine with it. My concern is what the live crowd does. Are they going to make Nikki take the brunt of their disapproval of it? Is what I'm a little worried about. And then it's going to die. And it might have, I don't know her at all, but I mean, it might have more of a personal effect. I don't know. I'm a little concerned. I hope it builds more momentum before live Raws start happening. I'll put it that way. So I'm a little concerned there. But Shayna wrestles Nikki Cross. Alexa Bliss has new music. Alexa Bliss walks down the ramp halfway through. The distraction of Alexa allows Nikki to do a big dive. Once again, we have a commercial break. We're back from the commercial. Alexa Bliss kicks Nia in the shin, I think, or the knee, and Reginald in the groin. I was waiting to see someone get kicked in the groin. That was a good groin kick, too. Like a back kick, like old Ric Flair. It was actually, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed her kicking Reginald in the groin. I think every Reginald segment would be better if someone kicked Reginald in the groin. As a matter of fact, hey, listen, if we can put Lana through 10 tables, 10 Mondays in a row, we can kick Reginald in the groin 10 times. Ooh. Who do I tweet about that? Okay. Bliss kicks them. Oh, yeah. So Cross, of course, with a roll up the same La Magistral cradle that she beat Shayna with the week before. Nikki wins again over Shayna. Okay, so they're just going with Nikki for a bit. We have another Hell in a Cell recap, this time of Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods in a Hell in a Cell match from last Monday, and we set up the Kofi Bobby MVP thing that is going on. Kofi Kingston, goddamn it all to hell, knocks it out of the park. He does this promo. He puts Woods over. He's not putting himself over. He puts over, that guy's underrated, etc., etc. I don't want to go watch it if you haven't seen it. If you're listening to this, for both of my fans, you've probably seen it. Silly. Yeah, he puts Woods over big time, and Kofi gives an impassioned speech. MVP interrupts him, of course, with the ladies. The ladies, I think they're underrated. They have great reactions. Like, they're pretty good at knowing. I mean, pretty much they know when to laugh when MVP says something that's supposed to be funny, when to look upset when someone insults MVP or Bobby Lashley. Lashley was not there. He was on vacation. I do not know if it's a shoot or work vacation. Who the fuck knows? He wasn't there, so he had time off in some sense of the word for whatever reason. Who cares where he is? I have no idea. Not my business. But MVP versus Kofi are great because if you know they're saying real words. These guys have, they've known each other since, I don't know, 07, 08, 06, whenever the hell, probably even before, for like a decade and a half at least 15 years they've known each other. And they both make great points about the other one's career. And Kofi making points about MVP milking this leg injury and how Woods is going to be back next week and not milking anything. And, MVP, Kofi, you goof around, and Lashley will do whatever he did to Lesnar. And Kofi was like, okay, well, I was champion for 6 months, and blah, blah. He's already beaten Bobby Lashley, he says. Which normally you wouldn't have a babyface say he already beat the heel he's going to wrestle, but in this situation, I think it's a little different. We're doing everything we can to make people believe Kofi is going to beat Bobby Lashley. Is he going to? It doesn't look good. Why? Because the fans, even non-smart fans, are still kind of smart. Like they know SummerSlam's in August, and SummerSlam will be the maybes for those kind of title changes. SummerSlam might be more 50-50, but Money in a Bank, even though that's a fun pay-per-view, because it's in July and not May or June, they're like, it'll stay. This was great. Kofi goes on the outside. Eventually, he gets into an argument with MVP, and he hits MVP in the with his finisher, the Trouble in Paradise, the spinning kick thing. And he stands over him and says, "Now you're hurt, or now you hurt." With poor grammar notwithstanding, now you hurt. Now that's what it's like to be hurt. Not with your fake knee thing you got going with your cane, but now you're hurt. And please, if anyone out there says, "Oh, isn't that great that isn't he clever to milk the injury with a cane that he can use as a weapon?" That's yeah. If you've ever heard of Freddie Blassie, so don't. But still, MVP works at all. Charlotte Flair is backstage with Tamina and Natalya trying to figure out who the heels are. They both have legacy. The three of them have wrestling fathers, only two of which are allowed to name who their wrestling father is, because the one of them murdered a lady. And then there's a 6-woman tag. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are teaming with Rhea Ripley, doing rock, paper, scissors to decide who the heels are again. So this is a 6-woman tag with 2 faces, I think. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't even know if Mandy and Dana are the faces, because they were going on about their modeling photo shoots. But weren't Tamina and Natalya good guys? Like, a week or two ago? What the hell is going on? I don't know what to do with this match. Charlotte pins Mandy. I can't do. The Battle Royal gets 16,000 stars. Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler gets 14 million stars. And the 6-woman tag gets -10 stars. Don't question my system. So, so they have this thing for some reason. Charlotte pins Mandy Rose. I forget what she pinned her with, if she hit her natural selection or if she just beat her with something. Who the hell knows? This was all over the place. And right after Rhea does a chop block to Charlotte to take her leg out. Because Rhea, in the middle, she's firing up like a babyface. She was, I don't know, I can't say she got a hot tag, because I don't think. But she gets in there and she just, lines and slams and just laying it in and being a house of fire. And I think a live crowd would have gotten behind that moment. That moment would have been very loud for a live crowd. But then she does a heel thing after to Charlotte, who is the biggest heel of the 6. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Nikki Cross might be the only woman babyface on Monday Night Raw. Because what the fuck is going on? The only clearly defined. Oh, and Asuka Naomi, I'm sorry. Asuka Naomi did not make Hulu. They wrestled on this show. They lost the tag match to Doudrop and Eva Marie. And also not on this show, Ricochet had a double count out. You don't see many of those anymore. I like seeing that with John Morrison. There was a wacky backstage skit with a dripstick, and I watched this again on YouTube. This was not on Hulu. I'm just giving you a little bonus. Um, there was some dripstick stuff, which sounds kind of gross. And Ricochet replaces Sarah Schreiber, or Sarah Schreiber has been Ricochet the whole time as the camera zooms in. So the blonde lady is replaced by Ricochet holding a microphone, which startles Morrison and Miz. And Ricochet takes the dripstick and or a water gun, and he sprays the Miz and Morrison, and the grown men run away. And anyway, I mention it because Ricochet does this totally bananas springboard dive to the outside. Morrison is sitting on the barricade, and they both just crumble. And yes, there's a crash pad behind him. And yes, they make a point to show you 2 seconds later the guy is lying on the concrete floor with no crash. Of course, we know, okay? It's going away soon, okay, guys? I know. But with the crash pad, I know from experience that it's still actually pretty goddamn dangerous. You have a giant man jumping on you, and you're still kind of landed on your head and neck, and, that's actually still, I think it's scary for the guy taking it, I really do. But whatever. It was nice to see a double count out and Ricochet though, because I know fans always complain when there's any finish that isn't a pinfall or submission. Like you gotta get off that. For everyone who's bitching about that, you gotta get off that. You can't have all this programming and all finishes. Yeah, your goddamn skull. When your pay per views, especially your pay per view main events, more specifically, like I see your point, and I'm not gonna argue that no one wants to see a pay per view main event end in a DQ. It gets like a unless it's really going, unless something awesome better happen, like a huge debut or return better happen because of or something. You give us something else really huge so we can kind of go, whatever. But like if Bobby and Kofi main event the Money, I don't know if they will. Let's switch it up. If Roman and Edge main event the Money in the Bank, I just don't see Kofi and Bobby. Um, if Edge gets DQ'd, then it's like, okay, that better be going somewhere. I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry, guys. That happens. Priest and Riddle are backstage. This was totally ridiculous. Should not have been funny or fun at all, and was funny and fun, entertaining segment. I really enjoyed this. Uh, Riddle is in the zone, pretending he's Randy, and Priest is saying, "Hey, you know what? You got the better of me. We always got along. Good for you. Go get him. Do your thing." And Riddle says, "I'm not Riddle. I'm Randy or something." And Priest is like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Anyway, just so you know, you're a better friend to him than he is to you, and you should know that. And then he starts to walk away, and Riddle says, "I'm paraphrasing. This is a Priest. It's me, Riddle." And Priest says with a total straight face, "I knew it was you, Riddle." It just the way they did it, they sold the very loud. They mentioned the Burger King sandwich, and Priest played a little trick on Riddle to snap him out of his self hypnosis. It's a little wacky. We do this three-way match. Riddle, AJ, and Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles with Omos. Great physicality here. Wow, AJ Styles had his bumping shoes on. Jesus Christ, big back body drops. And those forward belly to belly, or they're really just armpit tosses by Drew McIntyre. Drew was all over the goddamn place, and so was Riddle, of course. And AJ and Riddle actually team up. They kind of do like a body slam type of thing to put Drew through the table, the announcer's table, that is. And Riddle really fires up a lot. Again, I said this for this show already, but a live crowd would have really started going nuts for Riddle here and wanted Riddle to win this. And I thought he was. And I watched the thing like 12, 14 hours after it happens. I try to avoid spoilers as much as I can. NXT is way more spoiled on Twitter than Raw is. I think there's just a younger roster tweeting about it. Actually, it's not true. Usually it's HBK. Michaels spoils the shit out of it, and I fall for it every week. I already know the NXT results. I haven't seen it yet, and I won't till tomorrow, and I'm just already mad about it. Like, God damn it. Never surprised by NXT, but um, still good enough show. Yeah, so they have this match. Riddle misses a running knee on one of the guys and runs his knee or his bare foot into the steel steps. He's being limped around. They get the doctors taking him away, and this is this is what gives it away that it's definitely a work if you weren't sure. When Riddle says, "I can't let Randy down," I'm like, that's hilarious. But I had a feeling he was going out and coming back. AJ and Drew back and forth again. Great physicality. More fire by Drew. AJ puts the calf crusher on Drew McIntyre. Riddle comes back. Matt Riddle's back, and I thought he was winning it. His foot's all bandaged up. but clearly he's winning it. He hits an RKO, and I think on RKO on AJ, I think Omos interfered or something. I think he pulled AJ out of the ring or something of that nature. Riddle turns around with one leg after all that effort, all this whole night of fighting, winning that battle royal, and the big beatings he and Drew had to give each other as well. And he turns around, Claymore, Drew, 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre's in a Money in the Bank. That's Monday Night Raw. Where does that leave us? I don't know. Money in the Bank is not this Sunday. I think it's a little far away still. I think we actually got a lot of time. So I actually have no idea. But it's a couple of Sundays away. Because what the hell is it called? The Hell in a Cell was just like 9 days ago at the time of me recording this. So, there's a lot of things that can happen. I think that's the fun of the Money in the Bank scenario. There's a lot of things that can happen. Let's say Drew is in a money. I mean, Drew is, of course, going to be a favorite to win the thing. Let's say he does. Well, he still can't cash in on Lashley. So he either has to hold on to it and be frustrated with it, or go to SmackDown, see what Roman's doing. Okay, that's interesting. But if we have Drew and Roman on the same show, is that too many star power eggs in one basket? I don't know the answer. Let's go somewhere else with it. Bobby Lashley just went through Xavier Woods, and let's say he goes through Kofi. Sorry, Kofi. I love Kofi, man. I'll put it on Kofi. I don't care, but I don't have a dog in this fight anymore. Put on whoever you want to put it on, but sure, put it on Kofi Kingston again. Why not? He's got fire. He's a great baby face. Let's say Kofi loses. Okay, because I mean he's not the betting favorite. Lashley can say, well, I went through Drew, I went through Woods, I went through Kofi, who's next? And maybe Big E wins the Money in the Bank. And that's the logical progression from Woods to Kofi to Big E because of the New Day. And then you could do E and Lashley at SummerSlam. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I don't know. Or E can cash in on Lashley some other time. I don't know the answer. So you can do Drew or you can do Big E. The live crowds, I don't think they're going to be kind to Drew, and it's not. I don't think they hate Drew. I think that Drew has just been. It's been a 3-hour Drew show for a long time, and I don't think they would be booing Drew when they started booing. I think they would just be booing the repetition of the program. And I think they would go nuts for Big E winning it because that's the guy they want to win it the most. But deep down, no, he has a very small chance of winning it. But I have this crazy notion where when I sit on my armchair here, and it's a folding chair with a cushion on it. That's my furniture. When I sit on my chair here, I have this wacky thing where I'm always trying to think what would make the fans happiest, and that's a stupid idea right away off the bat. I don't know, guys. It was a good Raw. That's the thing. I mean, I watched on Hulu, so I got the short version, which might be for the better. But even the stuff I looked up, I was just curious because it was weird because Eva Marie and the Dewdrop thing is still so new, so it wasn't on. I'm like, that's curious. And because the Ricochet splash, the springboard thing was all over the place, and that wasn't on Hulu, that match. So, of course, if that match isn't going to be on Hulu, neither is the interview. So I just watched one to set up the other. So there is some consistency there. Whatever promos or backstage things they did, if any, with Eva Marie and Dewdrop, I hate calling her that, those would not have been on Hulu either, because if they're not going to put the match on, then why would you put the interviews on? And there's probably one or two small things I would have missed. I don't know. But everything with Riddle gets on right now. And right now it's the MVP of the show. So right away when he made his entrance to the Battle Royal on that scooter at the beginning of the program, I just had a funny feeling. I'm like, if people were there, it would have been loud. This is my opinion. Just my opinion. Not bad. Not a bad show. Nothing to really goof on. Oh, the triple threat between AJ Styles, Riddle, and Drew McIntyre gets 44,622 stars. So, do not question the system. Any other matches I missed for the star ratings? Because that's important. The 6-woman tag. Oh, I said yeah. That got like -6 stars, right? Something like that. Whatever. It was a good match. It was a good show. Having all just watched the 1993 Royal Rumble versus like 2 days ago and watched this today. Um, One thing I noticed now in almost 30 years of battle royals is that thankfully the I miss wrestlers going over the top rope and not every single time holding on and landing on the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.